You want to just pull up the dock on your monitor until my phone's a little bit more charged?
Yeah, I do think your phone's pretty charged.
Or is that one of those rapidy ones?
Oh, because you have to because your phone needs to charge a bit. Yes.
I don't really need it until I'm looking at my notes for.
Yeah, you'll be fine. I think it's charging pretty fast.
Okay.
It's not a rapid charger, but let's see. Actually, I want to do this first before I share it. I always make a mistake and share a bad link. Or when it's not operating properly. Talk. Okay, now
hello.
This and maybe it's working.
Oh.
This and maybe it's working. Oh. Hello. Okay. No.
Crave.
Hello. Okay,
Yeah.
no.
Crave.
Hello. Okay.
That's
Everything
good.
works.
Crave.
Sound works. Okay.
That's
Everything
good.
works. Sound. I'm just going like slightly crazy. Okay. Okay, that is it. I think we're good to go. We have. Okay, so
I'll
I actually
just use it sparingly if you want to hand it to me now. I just need it for the beginning and then the notes, and I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
and I can plug it back in.
Yep.
And wait,
I'm at 28. I'm fine.
here.
Oh, dope.
If my computer starts to die.
Perfect.
Let's swap it out. Perfect. Okay,
We good.
we good. We've got the intro, and then we've got the news, which is really actually good. Turned out chunky this week. I figured we could ditch the gaming lore discussion. I just threw that on there honestly when I was really fucking high, and I was like, "This is a good idea."
I think that's a good segment for another one.
I don't know how to. I didn't know how to couch it though. I don't know, like, because that's super funny and
What are
like some,
trees?
yeah, you
that?
like hit a tree in Grand Theft Auto or any
Yeah.
racing game or any of these games that,
And they're like brick walls.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, the one thing that I put down was that they are made out of, what did I put? Firmament. The actual code of the game is
Firmament.
stored in the trees.
So you can't break them.
You can't break it. The whole game would break. So every game developer, when they're like, okay, where do we store the game code? They're like, put it in the trees. So we'll just do JD Asks and Fudio Games. I thought the news would be lighter than it is. And then I did try to do.
You just deleted JD Asks.
I moved it. I did try to do Would You Rathers for Metroidvanias. And honestly, dude, I couldn't come up with any. I was kind of like, I sat there for 20 minutes and I was like, well, if it's this hard of a segment, it's not worth it.
It's probably not even. It's just because it's just
Yeah.
crunching so close to the last one. You're probably like,
Right. And I was hoping, because I went through looking for segments and I found we used to do Would You Rathers all the time last year. We
there
stopped
were a
doing
bunch
them.
of segments we used to do because we did Would You Rathers. We did, what was
We
it?
did Fudio Games. We haven't done Fudio Games in a minute.
It was the Fuck, Marry, Kill one, but it was like,
Oh, yeah.
what was that?
Crew Carry
Kill.
Dude,
Yeah.
we used to have some. So I was
That
like
was
trying
one
to
we
bring
used to
some
do.
back, but I don't think it was going to work. So anyway. Okay, so we'll just do JD Asks, Fudio Games, and then I've got a dice pick, and then outro music.
Dude, that's a loaded question. There were a lot of good years.
Mine
trying
was
to
so
decide.
easy. Mine was. I'm so excited to talk about mine. Oh, because I was like, well, it's just Trent and I. Let's talk about like vintage stuff. And so I thought about Be Kind Rewind, but then I was like, man,
I've got a few good
let's
ones.
just rewind to
I've got like one or
here.
two.
Actually, let's call that Be Kind Rewind. We're not
Yeah,
going to call
yeah.
that JD Asks. Okay, and then we'll call that. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do outro music. We will do. I have an idea. Let's see. Maybe this will be good.
Who are you? You look vaguely familiar.
Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Dude, I think we got it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's fucking do this
Wordy.
thing. Okay, we're recording and we're on The YouTube, in case anything, dude. I love the YouTube backup because I was
Right,
like,
yeah.
I don't even fucking care. I also
Bonus
have audio backups
because the YouTube's gonna sound exactly like what we're hearing.
It wasn't like
Yeah.
as clean of audio, but it was like I could notice because I was on Audacity,
Right.
like clipping it back together, so it was so easy. All right. Okay, dude, let's get this sewed right the first time so we don't have to do it again.
Seriously, re-recording it 4 times last week was brutal.
Totally. It's just too bad we don't have any other options.
Well, if Peterson isn't editing, no one's editing, right?
I don't know how to do it.
Neither do I.
All right. So here we go. Gonna do it right on the first try. You've just plugged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show.
Wait. Did you just say plogged?
Damn it! Damn it! Okay, one more time from the top. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Trent.
And we are just your only two hosts.
The 2-Bit Gamer Show.
The 2-Bit Gamer Show is back, folks. So buckle on up. It's going to get real tooty. Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right, our news this week, as with all weeks, is brought to us by Crave Cookies.
Crave.
I always forget that clip. It's Peterson's favorite and my most forgotten clip. Trent, you got the sneak peek of the week for us this week.
I got the sneak peek of the Halloween week.
Oh, this sounds like the coolest cookie. Like, all your cookies are super delicious and good, but this one just sounds cool.
This one's just like a visual treat.
Yes.
So this one, it's called the Count, and
Okay.
it's like an Oreo dough base, but the dough is dyed black, so it's all black. It is stuffed with a blood red cream cheese frosting.
Oh,
the entire outside of it is covered in M&Ms, and then it's rolled in Oreos, so it kind of looks like
a
graveyardy.
graveyard?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god,
it is so good. It's delicious.
Yeah, and on top of like looking amazing, it's delicious. So
Mhm.
it's a bloody cookie. You ever had a cookie that bleeds when you cut into it, folks?
Now you can.
Now you can. What else? Do you guys do you have any others, or
It's just candy week, so we've got the Twix, we've got Butterfinger cheesecake,
Oh.
Trick or Treat. We haven't had since last year, so
Yeah.
that's it's like the brookie base, but it's got Snickers in it,
Ooh.
Rolos, and I don't even remember the third candy right now. It's got another candy in it on top of those two,
Dude.
and
Oh.
the chocolate chip as usual.
So if you guys are going to Walmart to buy candy for Halloween for trick-or-treaters, it's all gone.
it's all gone.
Trent put
Actually,
it in cookies.
Fun thing I discovered this week: TikTok made another shortage happen
Ah.
because we've got the Scotch-a-rookie right now.
Yeah.
And there's a Rice Krispie treat shortage kind of happening right now because there's this TikTok trend going on where apparently someone decided that the best pre-workout treat was a Rice Krispie treat.
That is
So all those
not a
TikTok
thing.
kids went and bought Rice Krispie treats. So they're just flying off the shelves.
I guess eating
damn
a
it.
candy bar before you work out, I guess that's okay. Sugar, puffed rice. It's like
Make that digestive
nutritionally
system
meaningless.
work. So,
I guess.
I don't know, dude.
So
TikTok
that
ruined the world.
damn it. Well, I'm getting Scotch-a-Rookie tonight. If you guys don't know, we are recording like a week early, so you missed
Almost
out.
a full week.
If you guys didn't get a Scotch-a-Rookie last week, I'm sorry, it's gone.
But as of the time of recording this, you got
You go
5
get-
days.
Go get that graveyard cookie. Wait, what's it really called?
The Count.
The Count. Ah, it's an even better name.
Ha, ha, ha.
Steam is banning all NFTs and games that use blockchain from their platform.
For those of you that know what an NFT is,
Nobody knows. Literally, no one knows. Trent.
I've had it explained to me like 6 times. I don't get it.
I don't get it. You can read as many articles
If
as
I
you
draw
want.
a picture of something on my phone and I text
Yes.
it to you, is that an NFT?
I don't know. Has it consumed the same amount of energy as a small nation consumes over the course of a year?
It depends on how long it took me to draw it. If I draw it like really, really slow,
Yeah. If you do that and you plug your phone into a nuclear reactor, maybe it will be an NFT.
I'm gonna start making these.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about NFTs other than they are the objects themselves are generally digital items, digital artwork, or
But
a
they're
song.
unique, right? So
Yeah.
if it's an NFT game, does that mean only one person can own it?
No, this isn't an NFT game. These are games that use blockchain technology or let users exchange NFTs or crypto within the game, which is kind of shitty because the justification Steam gave for this was that they, quote, don't allow items with real world value on its platform, which is inherently
But why do you need
untrue.
a game to do that, though? Like that, there's already platforms to trade cryptocurrency.
I
And
think it's
NFTs,
the
right?
I think it's the idea of using so it's like to buy in-game items or something using crypto or trading with crypto.
Okay, like buying pizza with 10,000 bitcoins.
Oh, broke my heart.
Every time I've looked at that picture today, I just cringe. If you don't know, I'm talking. Jonathan sent me a picture earlier today from 2010 of a guy that successfully traded 10,000 bitcoins for a large pizza, currently valued at $640 million.
$640 million, dude. That's spaceship money, guys. He spent spaceship money on 2 pizzas. At least he got 2. If it was one pizza, dude. I wonder if he remembers how it tasted.
Hope it was worth it.
I would never forget. So yeah, I don't know. No one seems to care that much beyond the people that are already invested in NFTs, which are essentially items that are expensive because they're rare, and they're rare because that makes them expensive. That's the feedback loop you get when you talk about these things.
Is they're rare? Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Some of them are cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
I saw like a little cartoony vampire that was apparently worth 10 grand the other day. I don't know why.
My mom really loved comic books growing up. So that meant that I got to read a lot of old comic books when I was growing up because she saved all her comic books. And I remember one that very, very much stood out to me was Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge McDuck gets this idea in his head, and he has Huey, Dewey, and Louie help him out, where he is going to take a rare nickel and make it even more rare and drive up the price by collecting all of those nickels. He has this radio ad that's running, bring in your 1935 nickels, and it drives everyone so crazy. They bring in all their nickels, they give them to Scrooge McDuck or
Sounds
sell them.
Oddly like those We Buy Gold commercials.
And then he dumps them all in the ocean.
Oh my gosh.
And now he has only one nickel, and he has the most expensive nickel in the world. And then he finds, to his dismay, no one else can afford the fucking thing. And Scrooge McDuck is like, oh shit,
but
what
it's
do
sure
I do?
Worth a lot.
And then obviously it goes rolling down the street, getting flattened by a something or other. And then Huey, Dewey, and Louie go down to Atlantis to recover more. And then they bring them all back and flood the market.
It sounds like a great comic.
It was a really good one, and it stuck with me, obviously, since I was like 8 years old when I was reading it. But that's basically my interpretation of NFTs in my mind, which I know is completely fictitious. So
makes sense, though.
Now you guys can explain. Now Trent gets it.
Now I get it.
It's like Scrooge McDuck.
It's like when Scrooge McDuck tried to make that coin valuable. That's what I'm going to say to people when they ask me what an NFT is.
The fuck are you talking?
Can you explain more? No, I can't.
I literally cannot. But on the other hand, Epic has said it is, quote, open to games that support cryptocurrency and blockchain-based assets.
So Epic cares.
Well, Epic cares because they saw a hole. And I have to say, I think we're going to see this trend emerging where Epic just they're so desperate to find new market share. Anything. Because they lost their mobile.
They're just watching their Twitter feed for anything Steam says no to, and they're like, "Yes,
that's us.
Yes,
we do that thing. We do that thing that Steam said no. No, what did they say? No hardcore sex games. Well, we do those now. We do hardcore sex games here at EGS.
We have a category for it.
Yeah, we give one of those free a month. It's great. They told The Verge. Epic told The Verge. This is like right afterwards. That there would be some limitations, but it's willing to, quote, work with early developers in this new field. They said the games would have to comply with financial laws, make it clear how the blockchain is used. Good luck.
We're going to see gambling again.
Good luck. Yes.
We're going to see legal gambling.
And have appropriate age ratings. It also says that developers won't be able to use Epic's payment service to accept crypto. They would have to use their own payment services instead. I don't know what they're thinking, taking on what seems like a huge lift, which is moderating and regulating crypto and blockchain on their platform.
I guess I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time researching, because the thing I'm failing to understand here still is why, as a developer, you want to make a video game that does this or accepts this as a currency. I just don't get it.
I think it's like I I don't know. Why would you? Well, and you have to set up your own payment processor now.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is
Like this seems
expensive.
all way too unnecessarily complicated.
But maybe
They
again,
can go trade their NFTs for cash in another platform and then come buy your stuff with cash. Like, it's just weird. I don't get it. But if someone gets it, please.
I think I
send
was
me a
going to say. I think
message
it's
on Discord and
ultimately
let me know,
we
'cause I
can't
don't.
ever understand it because we don't understand the blockchain. I
I
feel
think
like that
that's
CNN reporter when they were talking about 4chan. You remember that?
Vaguely.
Where she goes,
Do we even know who is this 4chan?
Who is this?
Who is this
4chan?
4chan? Is it a hacker? Is it a group? Is it a website? Who is this blockchain?
It's a hacker.
Oh, I knew it. Xbox Games Pass missed its sales targets last year, but there are big things on the horizon. So this is Xbox's gaming Netflix service. Essentially, it costs $10 on PC, $15 on Xbox. And it just gives you a huge library of every Xbox game they own, a lot of day one releases, any day one releases that they already own in Xbox Game Studio. And this has been a big push for Microsoft.
Oh, it's $15 a month for the combo.
Oh, is it for the combo? Okay, cool. And so they really want people. I think this is why they've done things like not improve the controller. They didn't change the controller at all from this console to the next.
They didn't need to.
And I think they're mostly focused on getting people on this service and just having them sit on it. Dude, I haven't played a Game Pass game in a month or two. I still fucking have it. I still pay for it. I shouldn't.
I still pay for EA whatever since I bought
Yeah,
Anthem and I haven't canceled it.
Dude, that's what they're relying on. That is the business model, dude. And
occasionally I'm like, oh, there's a new EA game out. I guess I'll go play it.
Oh, I can because I just have that service. But yeah, this isn't Netflix where you like just flip through it every day. Like this is definitely a service that
because
can
you have to
go
download the games too.
Yes.
Right? That's been my biggest, not a hang up, but like I'll have all these games I want to turn. I'm like, do I have space for them? But I love it. But they didn't fall too. I mean, I guess.
Well, that's the
10%
funny
short.
thing, right? This is hilarious. For 12 months ending in June, on June 30th, Xbox Game Pass subscriber growth was up 37%. But the company had set a 48% growth goal. I'm sorry. You want just round that up. You want a 50% subscriber growth year over year? Are you fucking insane?
Dude, they got close though.
And I'm like, that's okay. Because if they are going to set these outlandish targets and then miss them, do you know what that means for us, Game Pass users? It's just going to get better.
Incentives.
Dude, the biggest incentive they have to get Game Pass is a year out at best. Starfield, November 2022. You think Starfield is coming out on November 2022?
Well, they've
You're
got
crazy.
some big ones still coming because you've got Elder Scrolls that's going to be on it for sure.
Yeah,
right?
delayed. That'll be delayed. And that's after Starfield. And so Starfield gets delayed. Elder Scrolls gets delayed. All the Bethesda titles, after you spend all these millions of dollars to get Bethesda on your platform, they're not driving the numbers that they want to see, which means they may go find another platform.
Which leads us to...
which leads us to... no sound clip because it just didn't load. It's going to happen. I guess we'll skip forward.
I just think it makes sense.
It makes sense. So we'll just skip forward a little bit. Phil Spencer has revealed there won't be any VR on Xbox, and Xbox isn't done acquiring new studios. So he was talking to Wall Street Journal, I think, or something. He was talking. He had talked a lot. He said a lot of big things. So I'll read some quotes from Phil Spencer, who's the Xbox chief over at Microsoft. He said, I think hardware innovation that's happening is great. He's talking about VR here, and it's an important enabler. But right now, I'm deciding to stay more in the software side of that enablement.
I
believe
this so
it
much,
will
though.
scale better in the long run. Exactly what we're talking about. What scales better? Having to actually make a physical piece of hardware that you then sell. You have to ship. You have to make sure it gets onto a literal boat that then tools across the ocean and then unload that boat, distribute it, or you get me and Trent, the dumbasses that just leave their Game Pass on for a year. You pay nothing for that other than your servers.
I haven't played a Game Pass game for 4 months,
dude. And we're not even using server space.
And I've got the combo subscription.
We are literally giving them money for nothing.
I don't even own an Xbox anymore. I gave it to my nephew.
That's what Phil Spencer's thinking.
Oh,
The guy's like,
no.
why would I wade into something that we don't know and we don't do at all right now? And the last time they did this shit was the Connect. And then they did the
They
Connect
learned their lesson,
again.
right?
It took them twice. They had to do the
stop
Connect for
jumping
the
on
Xbox One.
bandwagons and just do what we're good at.
And they're good at making games.
Yep.
They're good at getting games in people's hands. So on that note, the next thing is that he said, quote, "We're always out there looking for people who we think would be a good match and teams that would be a good match for our strategy. We're definitely not done." That is, he's talking about acquiring new game studios. You guys know Xbox has been on a just buying frenzy, just snatching up every studio they can, which is pretty cool because this next party says there's no quota. There's no kind of timeline where I have to go acquire studios by a certain time. He says it's an ongoing process, and should they find a studio where both sides can benefit from an acquisition, it could well lead to them working together. He says this is what he said about Bethesda as an example of this. Quote, "Bethesda's great at being Bethesda. I don't need Microsoft or Xbox to come in and help them be a better Bethesda than they were." So he's like, we're going to hire all-star studios that are already pumping out hits
And let them keep doing their thing.
and not do shit to them. Now, I will say, Trent, didn't you hear a little bit about this back in like 2008 when Activision
I don't want
acquired?
to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
So don't buy this, is what I'm saying. It sounds good. This is something we heard a decade ago from Bobby Kotick when they Activision acquired Blizzard and said, "Oh, well,
To be
we're not
fair,
gonna touch
though, like
Blizzard."
we already hated Activision when they bought Blizzard.
That's
right?
fair.
Like,
We're kinda
Microsoft is
loving
doing good
Xbox,
stuff
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Activision back then was like, hey, Call of Duty. Like,
Is there anything that's like big that's made us like, from a gamer side, other than shitty naming their consoles shitty? Have they really done anything?
Microsoft?
Yeah, they haven't done any
I
like
mean,
EA style garbage.
No, they haven't. They've made like
Activision style
big
garbage.
mistakes, right? And I feel like that's what he's trying to
Yeah,
make amends for now.
they haven't,
Is
like,
because
pissed
Microsoft
off
did the whole
gamers.
like, let's be the media platform and
that
not
did
be a
piss off
console.
gamers.
And so I feel like he's looking at that now and being like, okay, let's stop trying to jump on every bandwagon and just focus on games.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're going to see more is we're going to see a lot more focus on Game Pass, because that's what this acquiring is about. Ultimately, it all funnels down into Game Pass as a customer funnel, and they want Bethesda customers, everyone else, all funneled down into Game Pass, and then just sitting there cutting you guys a check for $10 a month.
Because it's $10, right? Like you don't notice $10.
You never notice $10. You never notice, and you just kind of keep that low key. Also, I was just thinking about naming standards, which brought up a thought that I had. I think I may have woken up from a dream. Why didn't they call the Xbox One? I'm sorry, this sounds stupider coming out. The Xbox 460.
460? Explain.
I woke up from a nap and I was like, that's the funniest joke ever.
I don't get it. I need you to help me.
Because it's just one number up.
460. And you
How
got the
does that make
560
any
and then the
less?
6. So not the 720.
So we are currently on the Xbox.
Or call it the 361.
We're on the Xbox, yes. Same concept of the joke. You either have the 361 or the 460, which means we're currently on the Xbox 560.
And then you have the 660, and then it's the 720.
Yes.
Then they'll throw you for a loop. And
They're like,
"We've
oh
been
yeah.
working on this
And
the
I'm
whole
like,
time."
okay, so the next is the 820. They're like, we
No.
don't even know. We have no
The
fucking-
next one's the Xbox One.
So yeah, folks, go get your Xbox 560.
Thank you, Sony, for being consistent.
Twitch had a new do not ban list that allowed popular rule breakers to avoid consequences. The Twitch leak is ongoing. As you guys may remember, Twitch was hacked and basically their guts were laid bare to anyone that wanted to have a look-see. And so people have been having quite a look-see and finding quite a lot out about the inner workings of Twitch going back, I don't know, 10 years throughout its entire history. So they have anyone, if you guys are familiar in online games, the online gaming space, there's a thing called gaming moderation or community moderation, whatever you'll call it, where you have moderators who are individual real people who are generally looking at things that have been flagged by an auto moderator system. And then they're reviewing those things, either escalating them to their bosses, or they are distributing consequences or punishments for bad behavior on whatever platform it is, whether it's a video game, whether it's Twitch, whether it's whatever. Well, Twitch, these things often have, these community moderators often have rules, guidelines for things like, I don't know, like for power users. Like when we were at Animal Jam, we recognized our own moderator accounts and we wouldn't mess with our own accounts or punish our own accounts for doing things like testing a system. I don't think we really needed a do not ban list, but I think
I feel like this is a case of if you make us enough money, we're not going to do anything to you.
yeah, so
right?
this is what was so crazy. So Twitch claims this came out and it was like, we had to do not, and this is the news, is everyone's like, oh my God, we knew all along, because one of the things that one of the biggest gripes you see throughout the Twitch community is people that are like, why has this person not been banned? This is a clear video recording of them breaking the rules and they did not get punished or banned. And then here is the exact same type of behavior from someone else that has fewer listeners or fewer followers or viewers that has been banned.
Or the case of the user that gets banned that doesn't even have an explanation.
Yeah.
That happens all the time too, where they don't even know why they got banned.
Yeah. And so the idea that Twitch has been, and so everyone's like, whoa, that's super screwed up. We knew this was happening. And Twitch
I love
responds.
that they call out exactly the streamer I was thinking of when you first started talking about this.
I'll
too.
go through this because I have a
Okay.
list and you guys, I don't know these streamers, but you guys probably will. But Twitch was like, dude, this is just a thing. So like so our moderators don't accidentally ban the CEO of Twitch. Like the CEO of Twitch and some executives are on that do not ban list. And everyone's like, yeah, but how about these other scumbags who never were banned and who were constantly breaking rules and receiving special exemptions? So here's a couple that you guys may have remembered throughout Twitch history, people that have been banned. I think all of these people are either out or have been reformed. But let's see, Brian Ricegum Lee. He was a YouTuber with a history of inappropriate jokes and insensitive comments. And he was on this list. He was on the do not ban list, even though he wasn't a partner. He lost his Twitch partnership and they just didn't care. They gave him partnership outreach. So the partnership team at Twitch was still reaching out to this dude and helping him with his stream and communicating with this dude, even though he had been literally removed as a partner from Twitch as a punishment. So he didn't actually get punished at all. Behind the scenes, he had all the support and all the of Twitch.
He just got the title removed.
He got the title removed, which none of his streamers care about, or all of his followers, dude. People that watch streamers who break rules constantly watch streamers because they're breaking rules constantly.
On the leak, one of the top 5 streamers was that XQC guy, who's an Overwatch streamer. He was an Overwatch streamer.
Yeah,
and that was the appeal of his stream, is how much trouble he was constantly causing.
Exactly. So when you remove a partnership from someone and make it look like a punishment, but leave them on the platform and keep giving them everything, it makes them cooler. It makes them even more appealing to these people that are watching them, which is absolutely crazy. Another former Twitch admin pointed to the inclusion of controversial League of Legends streamer Tyler One, who we've talked about years ago on this podcast, he was just kind of like a rager who would just verbally abuse players, which, you know, when you have 10,000 people watching you is not great, because then they can just go look up that player and send them a message on League of Legends. And then 2 notoriously controversial streamers, Ice Poseidon and No Sleep TV, were also beneficiaries of the no ban dynamic, and they were ultimately both banned. Because guess what? If you let people keep breaking the rules, well, they're going to keep breaking the rules and pushing those boundaries. Like, it's so wild to me that they would do this type of shit, because it's just, well, it's not that wild, but I can't imagine that it seems more lazy to me that they're like, okay, well, here's a streamer that's he's bringing in a lot of viewers, and Twitch not realizing that dude's a fucking dime a dozen. All these guys are.
Yeah.
Like, just bring in some other person to do that, partner them and boost up their stream, and you could replace that. And the idea is that they didn't want to do that extra work. The person already did all the legwork on their end to get the followers. So the Twitch is just happy to just let them do whatever the hell they want, because they're bringing in streamers.
I just want to know what their limit is. At what point do they finally decide it's been enough?
When they finally broken a rule, I guess, where the public outcry for not banning them would be too great. So it's just, once you reach over that line where the cost benefit isn't there for Twitch anymore, they will ban you. This also, if you guys could kind of figure this out, noodle out what this did, is it gave the partnership team and Twitch's moderation team this ungodly amount of power, which of course they just went hog wild with abusing. This guy, Twitch partner partnerships team member Hassan Bukhari manipulated and abused one streamer both before and after the two began dating, after he provided her with exclusive perks and eventually a Twitch partnership to gain her favor. Yeah, I don't think that's any different. This guy was just like a simp with a better title, I guess, and he was, the first thing he did is just become manipulative and abusive, because that's what they're all waiting for. Twitch has fired this guy. Twitch fired this guy last year, September of last year. But these are the things that it's like they knew all this stuff that was going on. They knew their policies were directly leading to these incidents, and they just did nothing. They're just like, we'll just sit around and wait until someone hacks us and releases all this stuff, and then we'll address it and lie some more.
What blows my mind too is it sounds like there were multiple lists too, right? Like there wasn't just these are like high income streamers. There were lists that had alternate rules, like you mentioned, like it mentions Tim the Tap Man, who was another, I think he was a Fortnite streamer.
Yeah.
Who he had a note next to his thing that he wasn't supposed to be banned. He had an alternate email that you were supposed to contact if you had issues with him. Then there were some streamers that had language next to them that basically implied do not ban for literally any reason.
Yeah.
Which was the same kind of badge that appeared next to the CEO of Twitch's name when he was streaming. So like you had streamers that were getting the same treatment as the CEO of the company.
And they were remind you, getting this treatment for being shitty rule breakers who were abusing the platform. What? Dude, that's content creation in 2021, I guess. That's a bummer.
Every year gets worse.
Activision Blizzard has fired more than 20 employees, with 20 more facing disciplinary action.
How many do they have left?
9,500.
Okay.
And I bet
we're getting there.
Yeah, we're going to get them all out, because anyone's still there.
20 at a time.
20 and at a time. This news came from an internal letter from Activision's resident war crime defender, Fran Townsend. God, it was so bad. You guys, they posted, so this was leaked. It was an internal letter that was then leaked. They probably knew it was leaked, so they went ahead and published it on their site so everyone could read it, and it's not great. It's not great. So these are some direct quotes from our dog, Fran. She says, quote, "I have been quietly listening over the last few months to your comments, concerns, and observation." Maybe after calling the lawsuit frivolous and then tweeting an article about the problems with whistleblowing, maybe now you're thinking about, oh, maybe I'm going to listen to your concerns.
And also doing those things doesn't sound like quietly listening.
Doesn't seem very quiet, right?
Yeah.
Another one. However, in listening to feedback over the past several months, it is clear to me that we need to do more, and with renewed urgency. Read that back to yourself, Fran. And extra slow. Read it extra slow, like you're reading it to George W. Bush. You know, past several months? Urgency? You could have not picked up on this on the first month. It took you that long. Dog, we were here on this podcast months ago telling you all this shit. And you needed to know, what was she doing?
It wasn't enough that we had to hear about an employee actually killing herself on a
No, she had to keep
outing?
quietly listening, Trent.
That
She wasn't done quietly listening. I will say maybe it helped her quietly listen more that she deleted her Twitter right after she tweeted that story about how bad whistleblowers are, which was honestly, I mean, tone deafness is kind of like the new in vogue right now in 2021, but Jesus, Fran. How about another one? We know there's a desire to know about the outcome when misconduct is reported. Sometimes there are privacy reasons we can't share, but where we can, we will be sharing more information with you. We will also be providing you with regular aggregate data about investigative outcomes. Also, we fired 20 people, and there's 20 scumbags we left and identified in the company, but we're not going to tell you who they are. What? Also, those 20 people we fired, we're not telling you shit about them because we want them to scatter back into the industry, and no one really quite knows why they left Blizzard. And they'll find their way back. Let's see. Yeah, so ultimately, everything she detailed has changed. The changes just add layers and layers of process to this sexual harassment thing. And Fran is just growing her team exponentially. All she does is brag about how many people she's hiring, how many people she's promoted into executive positions. And guess what? When you're the person over all those people that your department grows that big, well, now your salary's going up. She's literally just writing a big, long letter about how much money she's making.
Well, this is my favorite. Activision CEO Bobby Kotick has given her a blank check to be used towards reform in the company, which is followed by an $18 million fund has been set up, which only equates to 2% of what the company makes in a single quarter.
Dude, and again,
which is 0.5% of
40 people, and I just can't get over the fact that they're like, we found 20 shitheads and left them here. Good luck. See if you can find what is that shit? 20 does not seem like enough. I'm sorry, when you have thousands of employees, almost half of Blizzard's
we're still going to be
workforce,
talking about this next year.
Never's going to end because of people
Holy
like Fran
shit.
Townsend, who are literally, dude, she won't be at Blizzard next year, and it won't be because she's fired. It's because she's found a different and better job. These are people that are just in it for a couple years. They're just doing a couple things that they can put on their resume, and then they get another big title and they leave because no one's actually invested in improving this company beyond what it can actually do for their pocketbook personally and their yachts and their fucking third garage. Like, no one cares about actually fixing things at Activision Blizzard. They just care about themselves. So, no, nothing's ever going to get fixed because no one has a desire to actually fix things. God of War is coming to PC. That's it. That's the news.
It's a surprise.
It's a nice surprise. January 14th of next year, it will be $49 on Steam and EGS. I think it's $49 because there is no hard copy that I can see. So that's kind of nice, though. You release a game 3 years later, you'd better give me a $10 discount.
Yeah, for real.
And if it's on Steam and EGS, EGS will probably give it away for free at some point, and then Steam will have it on sale for 30% off within the first 6 months. Yeah, and it'll be on Game Pass. So yeah, God of War.
Who makes God of War? Is that PlayStation or is that Sony that makes it?
Sony, yeah, I don't know if it'll end up on Games Pass. Sony published it,
okay,
but it was made by
I'll have an answer to this in like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that'll be kind of cool to see. I think we did see news or reported on news recently that Sony is
Santa Monica studio.
Sony is looking to diversify and get more into PC games, and this is a great sign. One of the best games that they've released in the last couple of years, best received games coming to PC. Hell yeah, I'm here for it. Pokemon Unite responds to a controversy about their $40 skin in the game by releasing another $40 skin into the game. Are you still playing Pokemon Unite? Do you know it? I don't know anything about this.
No.
But this is so crazy. So
I was just looking at it today thinking I should probably load this up. But like,
dude,
come
it's
on,
crazy.
Dude.
I think that so this game is free. So how do you complain about a $40 skin? Well, because it costs the same amount as a full game.
And it was the fastest downloaded. Like, it had the most downloads in the history of the App Store, right?
Yeah, so they went super aggressive right off the bat with their practice. And you have to use an in-game currency called Aeon Gems. These cannot be earned. You have to spend money on this. The only way I think you can get these gems is from a box. So I don't think you can even buy them directly. So you have to roll a couple loot boxes, and then I don't know. I may be wrong on that one.
If you're going to release a $40 skin, release it for a good Pokemon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the first one was Ninetales.
It was a Alolan Ninetales. So
and then the
like
next
Ice
one,
Ninetales.
That's kind of cool.
But then Lucario?
Do
Blastoise.
Why did they
like Venusaur?
Why have they been trying to push Lucario on us since the third Pokemon movie? Is it because I hate
and it's in every game. Isn't that the first Pokemon that gets the Mega Evolution in X and Y?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know why they're so focused on him. And he's a weird Pokemon too, because he's like a person.
He's a person.
He really makes you question. You're like, whether this is an ethical game or practice, capturing these things and keeping them in balls for indeterminate amounts of time. And Lucario's like a fully cognizant Pokemon that just, and they're like, this is the one we're pushing. We're pushing Lucario. He's not cool.
He's not cool.
He's
a basic Pokemon.
Well, like
he's a fighting Pokemon, which all of those are lame.
The furry community loves him.
It's easy to dress up as.
He is way easy to dress up as. Although I respect you more if you dress up as a Snorlax. Square Enix has announced a new London studio that will work on Tomb Raider and Avatar mobile games. Fucking hell. Kill me. It's called Square Enix London Mobile. Rolls right off the tongue. It'll be Selm. Even the acronym's hard to say. They're focused on, quote, high quality, free to play mobile games, which is an oxymoron. It explains there was this teaser trailer last year that came out that I didn't see, but it was for this game called Tomb Raider Reloaded. Very cartoony looking. Like it starts and you think you're like, okay, I could see it, but then it scans over to the depiction of Lara Croft, and dude, it's too cartoony.
She looks like she's straight out of that Minecraft Dungeons game.
Yeah. It's too much. So
is that the
dude, it's this like very hyper generic animation style.
Dude, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of if you just blew up one of like the Clash of Clans
It does look like Clash of Clans. That's what I mean, generic. Like it's every mobile game has to look the same. And it's really, really strange. So I don't really care about Tomb Raider. Do I think that that's a respectable license that
the Tomb Raider games, the last few games have been really good.
They've been cool, and they were cool because they weren't the old ones.
And that's the only mobile.
Yeah. But the idea that I'm like, it's going to be a taint on the legacy. No, I don't care about Tomb Raider. I do care quite a bit about Avatar.
And we're going to leave a stain on Avatar before it even got like a
is
real game.
But stained, dude. It's like the movie all over again. You give us an Avatar game and it's a mobile game. You give us an Avatar movie and it's an M. Night Shyamalan joint.
Why would you pick a horror film director to?
Dude, I don't know. It's just so wild. So, yeah, that's where we're at on Square Enix, and they're going to be pumping out a lot of really cool mobile games for us. Will you note? Yep. I need to figure out if she's Jenna's gone.
I don't think you can hear it, but
I don't. Hey, Gilly. Jenna? London? Hey.
Is she all right? Hi. What's up?
Okay, no. You need to be calm. Can you be calm in here, London? Because you're not going to go out there and start playing again. And you're not going that way. Nope, you're not going that way.
You stay right here by me. We got a third bit. We just got to plug in another microphone now.
Oh, God. Yeah, for stupid.
He just sits on the couch.
Okay, London, are you done? Getting water. She's done. I don't know. She has. I know exactly what's going on. Is that she's gone crazy post surgery. Losing her fucking mind. She's got 2 more weeks.
She just needs to get her energy out.
Yeah, and she just has all this energy, and I bet Jenna forgot to drink her. Okay.
Okay, good.
Nice. Test. Why is my? Because I have it on the right ear. Test. That sounds better.
Yep.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. Where are we? Okay.
Easy transition point.
Yeah.
Kudos.
I don't have anything. Holy shit. I didn't
come
put
up with
anything on the
something.
board.
I got one.
What's your kudos?
Since October 1st, Annie and I have watched some sort of horror film TV show every night.
Uh-huh. Oh, nice.
And this was like a surprise one. It for some people it might be miss. I thought it was really interesting, but there's this like mini series on Netflix called Midnight Mass.
Oh. Midnight
What were you
Mass?
gonna say?
I was gonna say movies that made us.
No. This is horror, right?
Right.
So without giving any of the storyline away, basically what this is it's dark, but if you are familiar with the Jonestown Massacre, this is a series that is based on that.
No way.
And it is pretty fascinating. I enjoyed it a lot. It doesn't have any like big name actors or in it, but it's got, if you've seen any other Netflix movies like or any of the series like Hill House, Haunting of Hill House, and Bly Manor, it's got a lot of the same actors in it.
Okay.
But again, it's based on the Jonestown Massacre, which was that, I can't remember what year it was, but preacher basically
70s.
conned a bunch of his followers into killing themselves.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
really interesting. It's a cool horror like series that's not like super jump scary,
right?
But it's definitely really
creepy.
Yeah.
The one I was talking about, movies that made us on Netflix, that they've done them for like Jurassic Park and all these. They have right now they have Halloween movies.
Okay.
So they've got Halloween, they've got Nightmare on Elm Street, they've got Friday the 13th, they've got Alien 2, or Aliens is Alien 2. And they're actually okay. They're actually pretty good. That show's, in my opinion, kind of struggled to get its footing. The editing.
They've got a few of them, right? They have Toys That Made Us, Movies That Made Us.
Yep. And it's the weird form of Netflix content where it's like you can tell it's just content they just put up there because it was easy to make and easy to get up there. But I'm like, it's actually pretty
kind of finding the groove now.
Yeah, it's actually kind of good. So that one, if you're interested in these horror movies, or if you're like Jenna and I and you're like, I'm not sure if I want to sit down and watch like an old horror movie, but I'd love to watch about it.
Yeah.
For 40 minutes.
That's been my issue, right? Is I'm like, Annie's been wanting to watch The Exorcist. And I'm like, kinda, but like
it's an investment. That's
so
like two plus hours.
Like, yeah. And so there's a few, like, I don't want to watch anything that's older. That I think the oldest one we watched, Descent, last night.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Came out the year we graduated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just feel like these older movies, it's like The Exorcist, they just give a lot of time to breathe.
Yeah.
Which is good. But I'm like, now we want all our content in 6
and a
second
horror movie.
clips.
Give me like 70 to 90 minutes.
Right. Yeah. So okay. Well, I'm glad we managed to put some kudos together.
Pass it on to others so that they too may be enlightened. Be kind, rewind.
All right. Be Kind Rewind is this vintage clip we just dusted off. It's like where we talk about our gaming past. We go back a little bit, we do a little rewind, and we reminisce over our foundational games. So the Be Kind Rewind theme this week is, tell us a little bit about the 1 year of your life that was the best year for gaming and why.
I want to hear yours first.
Oh my God. Okay. So mine, I kind of was like, it took me a lot because, as you guys know, anyone that knows me would probably say 1999 or 2000 because the Sega Dreamcast, and that's like my formative console. But if I'm being honest, and I think about the times when I talk about when I was like a hardcore gamer and when I gamed a lot and what really made me who I am and what games I like and introduced me to so many genres and things that I'm into, it's 2009.
2009.
Okay. What a weird year. I guess 2009. It's very random. So the Xbox 360 was officially 3 years into its life cycle. I think it was on its 4th year. And I had gotten one. I believe I got an Xbox 360 for my birthday in 2005. 2008. I'm so sorry. So I had gotten it 2 years late, which I thought it was great because the launch titles on the Xbox 360, there's
titles
like
on
5
all
of
consoles.
them.
2 years after is like perfect catch-up time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had some good ones out. There were good ones coming out, and then there were some good ones that were like right on the horizon. So I will go through this year because I was able to go through. I love this to death. Because I only played Xbox 360. I got a PS3 a year or two later, and I had a couple games on that, but I was really a 360 guy. And so I went back to my Xbox gamer achievements, my gamer score, and it's sorted by, and you can see when you unlock the achievements. So I could actually see when I was playing all these different games.
Oh, you mentioned this recently.
And I could confirm it. And so I confirmed that and I went back and reconstructed my 2009. And dude, it was so cool. Listen to this. In January, I'm finishing up Halo 3. And then I'm busting into BioShock, which I remember my brother asked Jeff what's a good game to get JD for Christmas. And Jeff was like, get him BioShock or Fallout 3. And my brother got me BioShock. So
Jonathan's like all time.
Yes.
That's so funny.
So I break into the new year in January, still playing Halo 3, beating the campaign and playing multiplayer. And then I start playing, which was one of my first multiplayer games. And then I start playing BioShock. February, I play the Simpsons game. March, I'm playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first one.
No.
So I go from Halo 3 to Modern Warfare over the course of 3 months, were both of my biggest multiplayer games when I started doing multiplayer, understanding lobbies, understanding.
This is so funny because I'm remembering you this year. You still lived in, this was right before the J-Pad,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Okay,
yes. I'm still living at home. And this is the best.
I remember the Simpsons game I lent you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So and some context here. In 2009, where I was at, I was graduating. It was my senior year of college. So I wasn't saying that I didn't have anything to do, but it was a little bit of senioritis.
Transition
Yeah,
stage.
and so I was living it with my parents in their basement, and so I had a ton of free time to play games, and I had a new Xbox 360, and I was ready to rock. So April comes along, I get X-Men Origins Wolverine I borrowed from your brother.
Gosh.
That one was awesome. May, Gears of War. I started playing Gears of War. June, Left 4 Dead. July, Splosion Man. September, Portal. Oh, September is when I busted in the orange box. So I've got Portal, and then October is Half-Life 2, and then November was Fallout 3. And I played that all through the rest of the year. Dude.
And you finished all of them.
I was like trying to 100% all these games because that's where I was able to find them in my gamer score. So yeah, dude, these games are just, it was 2009 was the year. And I looked, and then after that, I graduated from college, entered the professional world, and it just trailed off. But 2009 was the year.
That was a good year.
It was a good year.
I remember 2009, and that's not mine, but I remember 2009 pretty vividly because I think Simpsons you got, like I lent you Simpsons, you got Orange Box, I think, and X-Men Origins. Those were all Justin's, like, which was perfect catch-up time.
Because he had played those already, because he was, I think, getting a lot of these games because the 360 library was pretty thin.
Yeah.
And then I was just collecting, because I was at the point I was like, I can't play enough games. I will borrow games from anyone and just play them.
That's so funny.
I don't care if it's X-Men Origins or Simpsons game. Like I was just
give me a game.
I just want to play so many games. So dude, what's yours?
Mine is, and I got to look up the exact month here, 2002. And it wasn't necessarily because of the whole year. It was because of a very specific time in 2002. So 2002 was the year, that was sophomore year of high school, I think. Was like right when we were going into it.
Yeah.
And I remember I was right, like getting into the Final Fantasy series. That was when I was heavy into it. Final Fantasy X had just come out, and I remember I was talking to Adam Ince, kid who went to high school with, because he was way big into the Final Fantasy games, and he mentions to me, we were sitting in computer science, I remember, and he mentioned Final Fantasy 11 to me. And he's like, this is a different type of game, though. This is not like a console game. This is on PC, and it's an MMO. And in 2002, I had never played an MMO before. I'd never heard of it, but I was like, it's Final Fantasy. Like, I want to try it.
Okay.
So I remember that was my introduction to massively multiplayer online games.
Yeah. Okay.
Need to pause for a sec.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, she's getting tranked. I don't know what the hell's doing.
I'll just start that over.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to respond to comments since Jonathan's gone. I was just talking about that the other day, Patrick, where I was like, I think the smartest gamers are people who play like a console behind. So like right now, if you were to pick up an Xbox One and you have the entire library of games to get into, I think that would be a dream. That'd be so fun. Can you guys hear those dogs barking at all? What is your favorite JRPG series now?
just give us just 10 fucking minutes. He's getting both bowls full of crushed ice.
It's all right. I'm just chatting with Patrick.
Oh, that's
Is there a delay on this?
It's very minimal.
Okay.
It's very small.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm waving to Annie. She said wave. I'm waving. Hi, Annie. Okay. I'll just start that over.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't mark that. But I know what time it was. 1 sec.
Yeah, if you leave just a big silent gap, those are the easiest to find.
50. It was like 52. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so my best year in gaming was not it was a specific part of a year, so it wasn't the whole year.
Oh, okay.
It was 2002. So that'd be when we were sophomores in high school.
Okay.
And I had just finished playing Final Fantasy X, which came out in 2001 on the PlayStation 2.
Right.
And I remember I was sitting in computer science with Adam Ince, who I remember was also big into the Final Fantasy series. And he mentioned Final Fantasy 11 to me. But he was describing it to me as a game that was very different. It wasn't like a turn-based combat JRPG. It was an MMO. And he was explaining this type of game where you were playing with like thousands of other players online. Super intriguing because there were MMOs at the time, but I had never really like read into them.
Adam Ince introduced you to the concept of MMOs.
Adam Ince introduced me to the concept of
That
MMOs.
is a good Trent trivia fact.
And so I remember going home that day and mentioning it to Justin because he loved Final Fantasy 2, and we both downloaded this on our PCs that were just trash.
He introduced both of you.
Both of us.
You can blame Adam Ince for stealing
my life, basically.
hours of your life.
Yeah,
that is
dude.
so funny. Oh, that is great.
And I remember it was such a new concept at the time that stuff that I enjoyed in that game, I would not ever do anymore. Like never. I've toyed with the idea of going back and playing Final Fantasy 11 because the servers are still live.
Shut up.
Which makes me
20
so
years
sad.
later?
20 years later, like they're releasing a mobile version of it soon, I think.
Uh-huh.
Because it was just such a big deal. But that was the grindiest game ever. Like I remember.
Do you think they're still playing it 20 years later?
I remember there were these nights. Me and Justin were just talking about this the other night, where there weren't like you didn't really gain experience from quests. You had to level up through killing stuff. This is where that like South Park episode of them grinding boards in the forest was such a real thing. Because I remember there were literal weeks where me and Justin would have to stand in the city and find a group of people that would go to a beach and kill crabs. And you would go to the beach and sit there and kill these crabs that if you tried to go and kill them by yourself, you would get killed instantly. So you had to have a tank, a healer, and 3 people to go kill crabs
farm
on the beach.
Crabs?
And we would just sit there for like 6-hour play sessions and just listen to music and kill crabs. And you would learn about these weird parts of this game.
That's
Final
how you
Fantasy.
leveled up?
Yeah, dude. But it was just a section of I think it was like level 20 to 25 or something.
Gotta kill crabs.
But it took you like days of playtime, it seemed like, to get those levels.
Dude, that is hilarious.
And you would learn about like Final Fantasy had these really unique mechanics where it was called skill chains, where certain classes would interact with each other. So like I think it was if like a black mage did an ability and then a certain melee class did an ability right after, those abilities would interact with each other in a way that did bonus damage to the enemy.
Oh, that's cool.
And I don't remember, like Warcraft doesn't have anything like that. Like characters' abilities don't interact with each other the same way.
Yeah.
But there weren't like forums and stuff that talked about this stuff. So you just had to learn it as you went. And so it was just a fun, like super fun time to learn about MMOs and how this type of game worked and everything. And that set me on my road of Final Fantasy into, I think it was Lineage 2 into Warcraft for the last 20 years.
Yeah, because once you hit Warcraft, you're like,
that was it. And I found
gold.
I mean, Wildstar. That was the real gold. But
I'm glad Peterson's not here because you can get away with saying stuff like that.
So yeah, 2002.
2002, mine was 2009. Guys, jump into chat. I think our one of our listeners, Patrick, is telling us right now that theirs was 2008, which is another. I want to know everyone's. The 2000s were hot. I would think that, there's probably some people in the 90s and stuff, but man, the 2000s were really when games really started to blow up. But I want to hear everyone jump on our Discord and tell us what your best year in gaming was. And think about it, because it may not be what you think. Yeah. Repeat.
Studio game.
We got that cereal fame, cause you saying our names. We in the studio playing some Studio games.
And drinks too.
That's right, it's Studio games.
And drinks.
Yeah, we playing Studio games.
And drinks.
It made me so sad when I cut that out and put it on the soundboard. I miss Peterson.
I miss Peterson
I
too.
miss him so much. All right, Studio Games is the segment where we compare food and video games. And this week we're doing, because Trent revealed to me that he sucks at Metroid.
Dude, I'm so bad. I told him, I sent him a message on Discord yesterday and it's like, dude, full confession. I didn't want to talk about this before because we were talking about how we were just taking our time getting through Metroid.
You are taking
I
your
have
time.
been stuck on the first boss for a few days now. And I am so embarrassed that, like, I don't know if it's age or what.
It is.
But this first
It
boss,
is.
dude, the aiming mechanic in Metroid, if you haven't played it, like you hold down the left trigger and it gives you this little
line.
yeah.
But you have to stop. Like
you have to stop moving, and you can aim in real time, but it's pretty like
hard.
janky and jittery. Like,
yeah.
and this first boss has some pretty like small areas you have to hit, at least to me. And I keep thinking I've beaten him, and then I'm on the third phase now. Like first phase you fight him, second phase he goes invisible, and he's got a little red dot you have to hit.
it.
So I've probably died maybe like 25 times. I still haven't beat it, but I'm gonna do it.
I struggle with the most in this game is the finger combos. It feels like I'm playing a complicated piano piece sometimes because you're already saying the aim where you hold down the left trigger to aim, and now you're using the left stick to point where you want to aim. And then you get a grappling hook ability. And in order to do that, you have to hit the right trigger. So now you have both.
Well, that's how it is with missiles too.
Left
right?
trigger. Yep. Left trigger, right trigger, and
Aim,
then
shoot.
And then shoot. And then once you hit the grappling, you can pull a block out. Like you can pull blocks that you've grappled. And so now you've grappled it and then you pull it with this. So you are literally using
You're just
almost
telling me I should
all
just
of
give
your
up right now.
Yeah,
I'm too old for Metroid.
I'm saying it doesn't get easier.
Okay, well, I'll beat it next year.
So we wanted to do Studio games. Difficulty in video games. Difficulty is what makes video games what they are 99% of the time, is some form of challenge. So we wanted to compare a few difficulty-based things in gaming and to food. And
I'm super interested to see which direction you took some of these, because I
Same.
bet we're not even close.
Oh, absolutely. I just grabbed these randomly, and as always, don't feel the need if you don't have them to answer. So here's our first one. What is the food equivalent of finally beating that boss after a million tries?
I'll go.
Okay.
Raising Cane's opened by our house like 3 months ago.
Is that it? I
yeah,
finally got a fucking Raising Cane's.
Dude, yeah. So and here's the thing. Beating a boss after a million tries is so satisfying.
Yeah.
And
that
my
chicken.
the worst thing in the world is when something's so hyped up and it just sucks,
Yeah.
right? Raising Cane's doesn't suck.
Raising Cane's is worth
Pretty damn good.
trying 100
Yes.
times.
And for the first like 2 months it was open by our house, I'm not exaggerating. The line was at least 2 hours long for the drive-through.
Utah
They
tradition.
had cops directing traffic.
No!
out front. Raising Cane's had private cops apparently. But dude, after the first 2 months, the line was down to like 40 minutes.
Reasonable.
And we were like, okay, fine, we'll go wait.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It really
was
is worth it.
It was so delicious. Yeah.
Oh my God.
My only complaint about Raising Cane's is they only have one sauce. It's like they are
Cocky.
literally like
That is-
In-N-Out burger for chicken fingers. They have 3 menu items. They have chicken fingers, fries, and a chicken sandwich, which is just chicken fingers on their bread.
So that's kind of like what Charlie's Chicken's vibing off of.
Yeah, but they've got like new flavors.
They do have
like, they
other
have a flavor
stuff.
of the month right now, so I think that's their new thing.
Yeah,
is
I
they
was
have a
just more
sauce
talking
of the
about their
month.
menu because Charlie's Chicken has a bunch of good sauces, but one. Okay, so what is the cane sauce?
It's like it's almost like a kind of like a McDonald's like Big Mac sauce, special sauce type deal, but like thicker, I guess.
Yeah,
It's good. It's really good, but the chicken itself is what's like really, really
you're
good.
really just there
Yeah.
for the chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I mine is so stupid. Finally beating a boss after a million tries is when In-N-Out finally messes up your order. Guys, I've been going to In-N-Out for
So you're
decades.
just the opposite.
And
It's
literally
the disappointment.
They have never messed up my order. And at this point, if they did mess up my order, I would be over the moon. I'd be like, oh my God, they did it.
How do they mess up an order when they've got 2 menu items?
Exactly. So it's like you're spotting unicorns. You're never gonna get, and there's so many quality checks, right? You order, they read it back to you, and then you go before you pay, they read it back to you, and then when you go pick it up, they read it back to you. So if they screw up at that point, yeah, you have found yourself a unicorn, and nothing would be more satisfying because, guys,
Nothing is more satisfying than getting the wrong
at
order
this
at
point.
In-N-Out.
I just want to see if it's possible. I'm sure it is, but I haven't seen any evidence that it's possible. All right, how about this one? This one is much more familiar to anyone that played a lot of games on the PlayStation 2
or Kingdom Hearts 3.
Or Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh God, I forgot about that. I had it such an easy difficulty. I never lost because I was like, I don't want to get through this shit show of a game.
Oh, see, I wasn't thinking about it before boss attempts. I was just thinking about way too many cutscenes.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
This is what is the food equivalent of watching a long cutscene before every time you fight the boss. This is something that happens in Metroid, but you can skip it. I wouldn't say it's long, but man,
sometimes it's a bad idea to skip it.
Yeah,
because that boss comes at you.
Well, also turns out watching those cutscenes is how you figure out how to beat the fucking boss. I didn't realize that either.
Is that where they give you the little tips?
Yes, that's where. Yeah,
I only watched it the first time.
Exactly, and you're like, okay, I don't need to see Samus scared shitless, but turns out you do need to see her scared shitless because then she like focuses on what you need to shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, fair. So one of these that was particularly egregious that always stuck out to me was in Kingdom Hearts 2 when you went to fight the shadow version of yourself in Peter Pan Land.
Mm-hmm.
Honest to God, there was a 5-minute unskippable cutscene with dialogue and everything before you tried this, and it was the hardest boss in the game. It was in the middle of the game, but maybe it was only hard because you didn't get to practice it very frequently.
Right.
So what is the food equivalent of that? I can go on this one. Is it feels like the new thing at any fast food restaurant is when you pull up to the drive-thru and they're like, "Hello, welcome to McDonald's. Would you like to try our new premium chicken sandwich today?"
And then a different voice asks you for your order.
You have to say fucking no. Dude, that is pulling up to the drive-thru person and telling them, "No, I don't want to try your new special, thank you," before every single time.
Especially if it's a restaurant you frequent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you guys should know my fucking driver's license number at this point. I come here so often. Like, you do not have to ask me if I want to try your new premium chicken sandwich. I don't.
That's good. Mine is, and I have a member of my family that this happens to every time. I gave two things, but it's basically the same.
Yeah.
Either waiting an inexcusably long amount of time for your food to come out,
Ugh,
or
kill me.
being the last person at the table to get your meal. So my sister-in-law, it doesn't matter what restaurant we go to, and it doesn't matter what she orders. It doesn't even matter if she orders the same thing as someone else. She is the last person to get her meal, and it's always like 10 or 15 minutes after, like an inexcusably long amount of time.
Dude.
And so it's just that aggravating thing where you're like, come on.
I get so mad
no
sometimes. Yeah, I lose my appetite.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know it's not really anyone's fault. It's just like what it is.
Yeah.
But man, does it make me really upset. I'm like, oh, I don't even want to eat anymore. I don't even want to do that boss anymore. I'm done.
I'm going to play a different game.
One of these things that you probably run into a lot playing MMOs is when you stumbled into an area that's way too high level for you and you're like, oh, this is a nice little town. Why haven't I been? And then someone runs up and stabs you like a crab comes and kills you. What is the food equivalent of stumbling into an area that's way too high level?
Okay, I'll start this one. The first time I went to an actual steakhouse, like where the food costs what like a nice cut of meat costs. I don't remember whose birthday it was for, but we went. Oh no, it was for Tom's birthday, and we went to a steakhouse where like the average cut of meat was like $90+, and I had never experienced this before.
Dinner. There you go.
This is too rich for me. This is out of my league.
Yep,
I shouldn't be here.
That's literally what I had. Opening a menu.
I'll have my $9 chili steak. Thanks.
Opening the menu at a fancy restaurant, because when you walk into the restaurant, you're like, they could be putting on airs. But once you open that menu and you just see market price, and you're like, oh fuck, they don't even put the price on there.
Mm-mm.
I just pay what you tell me to pay. I can't eat here.
We'll give you a check after. No,
I can't trust you with my money. That's crazy. Your food can't possibly be that good. Yeah, so
or could it?
I'm glad. I guess that's exactly what it is.
You got Gordon Ramsay back there making my steak. I'll pay it.
And then you go level up through the game of capitalism, and you can go back to that higher level area, and you're still like, oh, well, now I don't even want to be here anymore. It's kind of lame.
Not that good.
It's not that good.
It's just a crab.
It's just a bug from the ocean.
Ocean bug.
Ocean bugs. Yuck. Oh, but you dunk it in butter. I'm back in. How about this one? Running. This is not a thing we run into a lot anymore. Is running out of lives. Back in the old days, you would limit gameplay by saying, "Oh, a character only has so many lives."
Unless it was Mega Man, then you had a passcode to get back there.
That's nice. That was thoughtful. For me, it was like a 1-to-1 comparison because I was lazy. You ever go to like a fair, like a state fair, or anything where there are a number of food booths and they hand you a fistful of tickets?
Ooh.
Yeah, you go get the funnel cake, you go get a hot dog wrapped around a cheeseburger, and then you're out of tickets. You're like, oh shit,
I'm not done.
I'm not done yet. Yeah, so that's the enjoyment is over, but you don't want it to be over. It's over because you ran out.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
Yep.
Mine was similar, kind of.
Okay.
When you run out of snacks in your house and all the stores are closed for the night.
Fuck that.
Yeah, dude.
Oh no.
That happens to me a lot. Because if you know me, Jonathan knows this, I don't have the ability to open like even a big family size bag of chips without just finishing it in one go. So there's never snacks in my house.
Yeah.
And then it's always like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night and I'm starving. And I open the cupboard and there's like graham crackers for my 1-year-old.
Yeah. Then you'll eat those.
I'll eat those, I guess. That's what's there.
There were times living with Trent where I'd be like, "Oh, Dad, yeah, dude, you can have those cookies. Like, I'm not really eating them." That was a guaranteed way to get rid of an entire box of cookies in a night or two. Like, if I had the pantry,
and there was always snacks.
There's always snacks. I always had so many snacks, especially as the three of us were always there. Oh man, it was good for snacks. But yeah, I feel like, are you a late night? When it's late night? Is it salty or sweet you're after, or is it just?
It's alternating.
Oh, it depends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
the way
really
I'd get
rough.
myself to quit is if I just have one of those. Because if I just have sweet, then I'll get burnt out.
But if
I can alternate back and forth, I never get tired.
And you're never going to stop, right? Because I'll just counteract that candy with some chips.
Mm-hmm.
Those chips are so salty. I just need a couple Skittles. More candy. Yeah. Do you guys have a gas station close? I have a kind of a close
Maverick
gas
within like walking distance.
Oh, that's not bad. Maverick's like 24/7.
Yeah.
But you have to walk there.
But the Maverick by us doesn't really seem to like care. It's like
24 whenever.
They always have pallets of stuff in the aisles that they just never seem to unload.
That's tight.
So you can't really walk down any of the aisles.
Eventually,
you get a soda.
The whole thing will just be pallets, and you just get your own shit out of it.
Yeah.
They give you a razor blade, and you cut into the plastic.
You got to unload your own food.
Yeah, you just find what you want in the middle there. Okay, how about leveling up? Well, what is the food equivalent of leveling up in a game?
Finding a new favorite food.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. That's like unlocking
like feeling like you've discovered something new that you've been missing out on.
Yeah. This happens to me less frequently than I would like. I wish it happened to me every fucking day. I wish I could discover a new dope food. I just don't travel enough.
Yeah, but it's like trying new restaurants, right? There's so many. I was saying this to Annie the other day. I would love for a while, just like as a foodie, to live somewhere like New York, where you could literally go an entire year without having, in a block without trying the same place twice.
Yes. Oh my God. I dream. And Utah's getting better. Our food scene is getting really legit. We have a really cool international community here.
Yeah.
That we have random ass. Like, I think we have a number of Ethiopian restaurants. Like,
really?
Yes.
Like, I didn't even know
most places don't get one, but yeah, we have a couple. We have a lot. And we're taking in a lot of Afghan refugees. So we're gonna get some Afghan.
I'd be good with that.
And
we're like
cuisine.
Dessert headquarters.
Oh, fuck
like
yeah.
every new dessert
love
restaurant
sugar.
Starts here. We love sugar and soda.
Hell yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get better at some point. I put leveling up. This one is so stupid. When Subway and Little Caesars finally had to increase the price of their $5 menu items. Man, I never thought I'd see the day. I was like, really? You guys are going to stick with $5 footlongs? You're going to make a whole advertising platform? You are going to make it your brand identity. And that is not sustainable.
Yeah, you can't do that.
It's not sustainable. That's so crazy. And finally, I was like, you guys leveled up, because now they just have both of them just jacking up prices right and left. They're like, we got
Whose value menu was originally called the dollar menu.
That was McDonald's.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Oh yeah,
no, because now McDonald's what, like $1.95?
Yeah, it was a cool concept for a minute there. Oh man, we had a good time.
Ooh, I just got to point this one out because that's a good one.
Yeah,
Joshua just said, for me, it's spicy food, just constantly pushing the heat barrier to the point I grow my own chilies. I haven't grown my own chilies yet, but I totally can get on board with the pushing the heat barrier thing. Okay. Because I love doing that. I love just seeing what that limit is.
Okay.
And because that's like what my Tom, my brother-in-law, and Justin, my brother, like that's always my gift for my birthday or Christmas is giving me some new type of spicy food to try. I like that one.
What was that? What was that show? We Are the Champions. Joshua, have you seen We Are the Champions? Because they do that episode of
they make like the weird hybrid chilies.
This guy that's making the hottest chilies in the world that you always see. You'll see an article. Oh, hottest chili came out,
but he makes something that's like 2.5 times spicier than the Carolina Reaper.
And
it's the guy that created the Carolina Reaper.
He made the Carolina Reaper, and he just keeps going crazier and crazier. That is so funny. Leveling up your heat.
That's a
eating
good one.
ability. That one is really good. Okay.
I got nothing for the next two.
Okay, well, we'll skip that one, and then we will do.
I got nerfing.
Nerfing.
Yes.
What is nerfing?
Okay, you go first.
Okay, this one is so funny. You're gonna love this. This is just chum for Trent. Trent, what restaurant has done nothing but nerf their menu?
Wendy's.
Fucking Wendy's.
I have Wendy's on mine as part of it because I wrote cheesy cheddar burger.
Yes. Dude, when you have a dope fast food menu or just one item and
just
you
a
take
discontinued
it off,
food,
just anything, you are nerfing your own ability to make money.
And Wendy's, honestly,
nonstop nerfs.
The worst fast food restaurant
in
only
the world.
because of that. Because they've had the cheesy cheddar burger. They had what was that chicken sandwich? It was like a Caesar something.
Monterey
Ranch chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich. Fuck.
Oh, and then they had like those
Cheesy
jalapeno
cheddar
dollar
burgers.
menu items.
They had the Junior Cheeseburger Deluxe that had this weird mustard sauce on it that was way good. And then the jalapeno ones.
They had the grilled chicken go wrap that I lived on for years. Don't have that anymore.
They had good fries, and now they're just garbage fries. They had those big
They have a
yellow
new fry though.
Are they like the yellow ones though?
I don't know. They just announced it like 2 days ago.
I just liked those. Yeah, so I feel like if you have a good thing that people love on your menu and you get rid of it, you're nerfing your menu. You're nerfing your whole restaurant.
And I have two main offenders for this. I have Wendy's and then Maverick, who we just talked about.
You're never gonna forgive me.
I'm never. I wrote Maverick about this.
They probably have that hanging on a wall.
I contacted like multiple people about this because I was so mad, and they took it to the next level of awful after that.
What did they get rid of?
Maverick used to have this create your own sandwich bar.
Oh yeah,
where you go in,
that
pick your
like
bread,
or no,
you would. Yeah, they had like 4 pre-made, like it was just meat and cheese, and then a bar where you could add all the toppings and fixings and stuff.
Yeah.
And they used to have this cherry pepper spread.
Okay,
back on the topic of spicy food, but it was pretty sweet. But it was like a
cherry pepper everything.
It was
just
like
shoveled it into my mouth.
Before sweet chili was a thing, I would say this was like the precursor to the sweet chili phase. Was this cherry pepper spread?
Okay,
and it was so delicious. And I remember it was when I was in AIDA.
Yeah,
because I had to have my shirt off for that stupid show. I would never eat anything until after the performance every night, and then I would just binge on food. And so every night after the show, I would go to Maverick and I would get a sub with cherry pepper spread on it, and then I'd get their chaos chips. And then they got rid of the cherry pepper spread, and then they got rid of the create your own sandwich station.
Dude.
And now I don't go to Maverick at all anymore.
There's no reason to go anymore. The funny thing about this is like you can't even I Googled this. It just like doesn't exist.
That spread?
Yeah, cherry pepper.
Yeah, dude. Cherry pepper spread, Maverick sandwich.
And I'm like putting cherry pepper in quotations, and it's like nada.
That's hilarious.
Dude, this is one of the worst discontent food I have ever heard because you are never getting this fucking back. It's not it's not Pepsi that can bring back Pepsi Blue with a snap of a finger. Like this is it's a gas station that the sandwich bar is gone. So it's all gone, Trent.
It's all gone.
It's all gone. You're never getting it again. That is a sad note to end on, but also kind of funny.
Dice of Destiny.
All right, Dice of Destiny is this game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 6-sided dice to see who will be responsible for rolling the Dice of Destiny, a 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres assigned to it. Then that person rolls another 6-sided dice to see how much money they can spend on the game. They find a game in that price, in that genre, pick it, play it, review it. Last week, I rolled a fighting game and was over the moon, so ready to buy Nickelodeon All-Stars. And despite cheating as hard as Trent and I couldn't get enough money. I needed a 6 or a 5.
I needed a 4.
I only needed
it was a 5.
4.
It was a 5.
Okay, I think I needed a 5 or a 6, and I rolled 2 2s, which means I can only spend $20 on a fighting game. Just fine.
Even
it's
if we
fine.
added them together, it wasn't.
I know
enough.
it was so ridiculous. So I went with an older game, but dude, the fighting tag on Steam is useless.
Really?
It pulls up fucking any game. Like
It's kind of like the adventure genre.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Can't do it. So I was thinking, and I think everyone here was thinking, traditional fighting game.
Like Tekken, Street Fighter.
Exactly.
Like that,
So
yeah.
I got a game, and I went with Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Ooh.
You played it?
I've watched a lot of it.
Yeah. So I remember, I think Spencer really liked this game back in the day. So it was like 3 or 4 years or more. It's old. It's like an alternate history or an alternate reality DC comics. So it's Superman fighting
It's like
Batman.
What If DC the game.
Yes,
Yeah.
What If DC the game. Yep. And I think Superman may be a bad guy, or maybe that's in the next one, or I don't know. There's probably good guys that are bad guys that are good guys.
He definitely kills good guys in the story.
People die. Yeah, I saw some people fucking dying in this. So gonna check it out. I honestly, my experience with fighting, this may be the first fighting game I've ever played on this podcast since I started this podcast. Yeah. I haven't started it yet.
Okay.
It's downloaded. I have it downloaded. It's on my desktop. I'm
I
ready
see
to
it.
play it. Yep.
See it on your desktop.
And I'm actually kind of relieved about Nickelodeon All-Stars, because with Metroid and Age of Empires 4
Just
coming
not
out,
enough time.
I don't know enough time. So I was like, let me get this guy, and I'll just bang through this really quick. Yeah, so hoping this game is good. I know it got really stellar reviews. Like everyone
It was a
loved
PlayStation 3. That's how long ago this
Oh,
one was. Yeah.
it was. Oh,
Yeah.
that's why the graphics look so shitty,
Mhm.
and that's why
There's
it was
a
only
mobile
$20
version of it now.
You guys, when I get a
It's free on
$20
there.
roll on Dice, like, you're really limited. Either you find something on sale,
Or you find something old.
or you find something old. And so this is old as shit. So this is that's it. That's it, you guys. Thanks for joining us on this duo-sode. To play us out, we've got the theme from Injustice: Gods Among Us. There's look, Superman fighting Batman. Nothing unique there.
Most of that in the movie.
Yeah, rich guy versus alien.
Oh, the new Batman looks pretty good though.
Robert
watch it?
Pattinson. Yeah.
That totally looks pretty interesting.
If I can shake that guy, being the vampire.
Yeah,
kid,
but
he's really good.
I just got to
actor.
finish
He's
saying
really good.
this. Like, if you watch any of the indie films that he's in,
Everything he's in, he's
great.
a
He's really good.
phenomenal actor. That's why it's such a bummer that he had to star in those shitty films. That, like,
Harry Potter.
I just see him
and-
scrambling up the tree
and Shining
and shining, and I'm
sparkly.
like, fuck. And he's probably the same way. He's like,
He for sure regrets it.
yeah, he regrets all the $500 million he made off this. All right, guys, that's all I got. JD, logging off.
It's Trent signing out.
Peterson Productions. Oh yeah.
One less thing to edit.
Hell yeah. Okay, it for sure went all the way. So, like, it was recording until right now. Nothing should be cut off.
Dude, it was weird.